everyone, Aaron with Accelerant. Going to take you through a quick tutorial on your training logs. So starting off on the home page, first thing you'll do is navigate over to the training list. Once you are there, you will see a dashboard of your trainings. If you don't see a dashboard, it is because you currently don't have any trainings added into Accelerant. So you will see, of course, your department totals for the hours. You also have a year that you can select up here. So if you want, you could plug in historical records. If you wanted to go back to 2022, 2021, 2020, however far back you want to go, you can go ahead and add those into Accelerant, and that way you have a historical record if you want. So if I change this to 2022 and click on change year, it is going to pull up the trainings for 2022. So again, you can do that historically and going back in time, but for this purpose, we'll stay on 2023. Again, at the top of your dashboard, you're going to see the total department hours. So as you log trainings, these numbers will update. So currently for 2023, we've got 10 fire hours, 4 rescue hours, and 14 department total hours. Of that 14, right? So we got 10 hours, that's about 71% of our total hours, and rescue consists of 29%. You'll also see, again, your members on the left-hand side, and you will see how many hours of training each of those members have attended for the year. So as an example, Liz, she's attended 8.5 of our fire training hours, all 4 of our rescue training hours, 0 other, for a total of 12.5 hours, which is roughly 89% of that total 14 hours. So the calculations there are pretty easy in terms of the color coordination. So anything under 50% is going to be red, 50 to 70% will be yellow, and anything above 70% will be green. So let's go ahead and we're going to scroll all the way to the bottom here. So this is where all of your trainings are stored historically. So you'll see a bunch of them in here, again, from 2022 all the way up into 2023. You can, if you have an officer or admin role, you can obviously edit these or delete them. If you do not have an officer or admin role, you can simply view them. You cannot make changes to it. But for an example, let's just say you had added a training. You could always come back in here and change the description if you wanted to. Or let's just say a member forgot to get added to that training that night. They said, hey, I was there. You didn't give me credit for it. You can always go back in here and edit that training in order to give that person credit. So let's see what that would look like if we needed to add a new training. So we're going to say we trained today at 6 o'clock. Fire. I'll come back to this makeup or individuals training. So we're going to just call this advanced SCBA training. We're going to select our training officer here. So we're going to give old Demo Smith. He's our training officer in charge. You do have to give him credit down here. So in order for this training officer to receive those credit hours, just make sure that you check that box there. But let's give Bruce, Austin, Steven, and Liz credit. So Steve and Tom were not at our training, and I'll explain why not here in a second, right? So we're going to go ahead and save this. So if you recall, we had 14 department hours. You'll see that it's updated to 16 total now. You'll see that everybody's gotten credit. So Tom got credit, Austin got credit. Everybody's getting credit for those hours. But let's go back in here. We're going to say we had 2 people, right, that didn't make it. Let's just say we held a makeup training a week later, or let's just say you've got individuals that are taking like their firefighter 1 course and they're attending that class on a weekly basis. This is where you can come in and give individuals credits without it counting towards the department hours. So let's just say those 2 people, again, they weren't able to make it, but they called and said, hey, we missed training. We'd like to make up those training hours. So we're going to go advanced SCBA training again. And if I remember right, old Steve and Tom were the two that didn't get credit. We'll select old Demo Smith as our training officer again, so we'll want to give him credit since he's the one that is giving Steve and Tom these credit hours. So again, this checking this box, it's going to not count towards those total department hours, but it will give Tom. So if you remember, Tom had 2 hours. I can't remember how many Steve had, but we'll hit save here. So you'll see that we still have a total of 16 hours, but Tom, instead of having 2, now he's got 4. So again, by checking that box, it doesn't count towards the total 16 or the total department hours, but it gives an individual member credits for hours without it adding towards the total department. That is about it for training. Pretty simple in order to keep track of your training logs. And hope everyone stays safe. Thanks for watching. See ya.